Hey, it's your boy Simmer the Don, and I'm rocking with Pin Drop Discussions. Okay then.
It's your boy DJ KP. You now tuned in to Pin Drop Discussions, the most high and the most blessed.
This your girl Tiani. Thank you for tuning in to Pin Drop Discussions. It's your girl Jayla. You're now tuned in with Pin Drop Discussions, the livest podcast on the East Coast.
What's going on? You guys are tuned in to Pin Drop Discussions. This is your host, Tyler Parker, and I just want to go over a quick recap with you guys today. And you guys already know that it's Fearless Fridays, so I'm just going to share a little short story with you and, let you guys get on with your day. Hopefully, you'll enjoy this little short story. Hopefully, it'll give you some encouragement to be fearless today. And so far this season, we've had 30 episodes. And one of those episodes was recorded on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And I'm actually working on compiling both of those videos so that we can have one cohesive video so that, you can see two angles, on one angle, I recorded it with my iPhone. The other angle, I recorded it with the tablet. And, it was a good interview with James Black. And we discussed a lot. I really see a different side of these conversations that we're having, and not just with James, with Cy Young, with Timbrel, with everybody that's come through the office. It's been a blessing so far. And thank you for the listeners. Thank you to my friends and my family that continue to push me to do more and continue to give me encouragement. Last night I was actually having this spiritual experience, and I was in my kitchen and I was thinking to myself, I need a mental break because, I haven't been as attentive as I need to in other areas of my life. And I feel like that breakdown came at a point because I was doing too much. And I felt like, okay, well, since I'm doing too much, let me take a step back because I feel like I'm going out every weekend. I'm pushing, two different brands. I'm pushing Pin Drop Discussions, Intellectual Social Club, all the while working on, an upcoming documentary, working on the idea for the TV series, working on the Pin Drop Discussions late night show, trying to get all of this stuff together and still kind of missing parts of myself because I love to learn. I love to read. And I'm one of my goals was to read 60 books by the end of the year. And 60 books wasn't a large accomplishment. I think we've actually discussed this before. I actually hit 68 in May. And then after May, I just haven't read anything. And I'm like, okay, I actually belong to my mother's book club. They had a meeting the other night and I didn't make it because I was here putting in the work with this vision that I have for Pin Drop Discussions. So I'm like, okay, I feel pressure, coming from this expectation that I have for myself that is created from consistency. It's like the more consistent you do something, the more likely it is that you begin to set expectations and goals for yourself that you feel like you should start striving higher and higher and higher. And last week, I think I recorded 6 episodes. This week, I've recorded maybe 4. Yesterday, I actually had the topic, the research, and I recorded it. I was in the studio from 4 o'clock until 10 o'clock. I left the studio at 10 p.m. And the reason why there was no episode was because I wasn't passionate about it. You can feel when somebody isn't passionate. You can feel when the energy isn't there. Like today, everything is flowing. Everything is natural. And it feels good. Like Pin Drop Discussions is supposed to feel good. Pin Drop Discussions After Dark is supposed to flow. Pin Drop Discussions Conversations is supposed to flow. The Pin Drop Discussions show supposed to flow. I was literally sounding monotone, methodic, boring. I was like, this just isn't for me right now. I need a break. Working on getting the second order of shipments for the Intellectual Social Club shirts. Got some long sleeve shirts, and it's like, I haven't created anything. I haven't designed anything. I haven't even looked at the logos. I haven't had the desire to get back into the fashion world. It's like, okay, well, that's not that I gave up on it. It's just that I felt overwhelmed. And so today's episode is dedicated to those who feel overwhelmed, who feel like when they are doing the most, that they're not doing enough. And I believe we're in Suicide Prevention Week. And I actually had a thought, to do an episode like this yesterday, but I was like, no, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go into the next topic, which is communication apartheid. And I'll begin to break that down next week. And basically, and not that I was feeling like I was gonna commit suicide last night, but it's not like I haven't had the thought before, because it's like, well, who would really miss me if I was gone? And I remember in high school, there was a friend that committed suicide. And even here at St. Aug, there was a guy that committed suicide. And my cousin committed suicide. Actually, 2 cousins. I just thought about that. Suicide is becoming more and more prevalent in the world. More than likely, you've encountered somebody that has taken their life due to daily struggles that they may not want to discuss. If you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling depressed, I just discovered a secret, Last night I was in the process of getting everything together to start filming this documentary. And one of my Eagle Scout friends, because I'm an Eagle Scout and he's an Eagle Scout, we grew up in the same troop together, and actually caught his mom in Walmart, and my mom and his mom started talking, and it was like, yeah, exchange, he's doing film, you guys, can do something, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And I just shot him the idea, and he was like, yeah, I'm with that, I like that idea. So this was like 2 weeks ago. So fast forward to this week, we're working on this idea. The first thing I'm thinking is, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm drinking coffee. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm frustrated. I'm like, this isn't working. This is not working. I am drained. I quit. I'm ready to just hang it up. And I was watching Rick and Morty, and I realized, I was like, yo, Rick and Morty is literally a show about hurt people that are in pain, people that run from their pain. And I was like, oh, that's why I like it so much, because I started watching Rick and Morty when I was like running from my pain and at its highest. And the thing was that I realized when I ask somebody a question, or when I go to talk to somebody, sometimes I ask them a question that I'm comfortable with, knowing that I'll get either one or two response. Either I'll get oh, I can help you with that, or, oh, I can't. And I don't know, I really can't relate, because literally those are the only two responses that anybody ever gives anyway, right? So, or they make it about themselves in a way that they say that they're going to help you, and you really kind of get nothing. But that's still a part of that first answer. The realization that I came to was in asking people questions. When you do go to talk to somebody, like when I'm deciding that I want to talk to somebody, I was having a spiritual conversation, and I realized that I need to ask God first before I go ask other people. I need to first ask God and then ask myself, why am I asking these people this question? Because a lot of times the strength that I need is already within myself, because I'm asking a question that I know the answer to, but I just want you to tell it to me in a way that I feel like I know that I'm not alone, So it's not like I'm looking for a specific answer, but I'm looking for an answer in terms that you can explain it to me, that you can tell me that you and I are on the same page, so that I can feel like I'm going through this human experience with somebody. And that gives me encouragement. So today on Fearless Fridays, if you're having a mental breakdown, if you're having an anxiety episode, if you're having panic attacks, if you're feeling depressed, I want you to go out and talk to somebody. But first thing I want you to do, before you do that, whether you believe in God or not, I want you to ask yourself, what first do the questions that we know, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, right? Write that down at the top of your paper. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And then ask yourself the question that you were going to ask somebody else that you want to talk about, because it'll give you a conversation starter. It'll give you a piece, because you're going to know, I'm asking this question because I want this result. If you know why you're asking somebody something, it gives you a peace of mind, because you're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm good with whatever answer you give me. That way you don't leave the conversation disappointed. That way you don't leave more depressed than when you came, right? So that is my advice. And for me, I'll tell you again, what worked for me was praying, going inside first, and asking God those who, what, when, where, and why questions. And then asking myself, because I still haven't talked to anybody per se, but I feel a lot better. I got the best sleep last night. I did. I was like, oh, I haven't slept good in weeks. And I was just like, oh, I feel better just because I asked myself these questions and I stopped running from my problems. And I finally forgave last night, and I forgave myself, and I told myself that I'm worth $1 million. That's what I did. I'm just gonna be transparent with you, because sometimes your self-value, you can value yourself high with no monetary amount to it, and say, I got high values, but really there's no number behind it. So that's just a number that I feel like it's a stretch. You know, a lot of people play the lottery and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a win. I have, you know, I know there's only like 1 in 65 billion % chance that I'm a win, but I'm still going to play. I would rather that I put that energy into myself. I would rather be my lottery ticket. And I actually it inspired me to write a poem called Lottery Ticket that I might do at the social open mic on Sunday here in Raleigh. I might do it. I've got that one, and the other one is called Court Jester. It's that one I love. I just love that poem. But and that is something that I'll have to get over. So if you guys see me and you have heard this podcast, and since this is Fearless Fridays, I am accountable to you. Because, you know, this is supposed to be all about being fearless, getting over your fears. So I want y'all to talk to somebody, and I'm going to perform. So just hold me to that word. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been Pin Drop Discussions. We're going to get back at you with some more content, with some more videos, with some just more everything. Man, just stay tuned. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be so worth it. I'm telling you, like, God is doing an amazing work with this show and with me. And I just pray the same for you guys. You know, I just pray that you guys stick with me enough to find your passion, find what you love in life, and start to give love and receive love like the person that you are, because you are built off of love. You were created to be loved and give love. So, hey, hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. Fearless Fridays, Pin Drop Discussions, Tyler Parker. I'm out.